Kidding. All of our money's gone. Okay. Close. The only thing I'm good at.
I don't know about that.
So, a lot of you guys will know, if you've sparred with me, there's a certain process to my jiu-jitsu, which is an attack leads to an attack, leads to an attack, leads to an attack. If I don't get that first attack set up just right, then it kind of hinders my next few processes. So you might see that I try to do the same thing for the whole round. I'm working, because I want this one thing that'll lead to all of my other options. Whether that's because I'm thinking about working that one thing for the day, or because you're a big giant person and I know I only have a few tricks up my sleeve. So for today, we're going to talk armbar to triangle to omoplata to sweep. So it's very much like my common. I'm going to work these things in sequence to get to the best position I can, which ends up being top position. So I'm going to teach the cross arm grip, where I grip this arm down, I reach across to the shoulder, I can turn my hips and plant my foot into this hip, driving my knee into the shoulder, and while pulling this shoulder down into me, my other foot comes high, come up over the top, arm bar. So, the sequence being, I like to reach across and go here. In the last class, in the white belt class, we talked about arm drags. Well, a counter to that is to get heavy on this arm so that I can't just pull it across my body. So he kind of leans into it a little bit. That's fine for me. Then I can reach up and grab just a handful of material on that back shoulder blade and pull him down into me. Now we're pretty tight here, but I'm using a lot of arm strength. Okay? My feet are going to pull him in when I need to maintain this strength, but also open up so that I can start to actually work the arm bar. So I've pulled him in and he's fighting. I can get my feet up higher and pull with my knees towards my chest. And it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get up, and it's going to let my arms not just burn out. I'm here. When I'm ready, my feet unhook, and I go one to his hip, and I want to pinch my knees. I want my knee pinching into his shoulder right there. My other foot comes high. If I can, my heel across to that shoulder, almost like I'm triangling. My legs aren't long enough for that, but I'm triangling here so that my heel is on the back of his shoulder and my knee is pushing into that same shoulder. And we're tight here. Then this foot that's on the hip is going to swing up and over. And in order to create some space, I'm going to push on his face, bring it up over the top of his head, and put his ear right behind my knee. Tight here. And then I can just drive my feet to the mat and pull the wrist towards my chest. Very basic arm bar, but when you set it up smooth like this and tight like this, the person really can't do anything to get out of it gracefully. It's like a muscle position. I gotta work and push myself back out. So, reach across to the back of the arm. My hand is right above his elbow, right behind his arm. My fingers on the seam of the gi. I'm not grabbing, I'm hooked. This elbow tight to my hip. Reach up, find some material, pull his shoulder down towards me. I can bring my feet high and lock it in. When I'm ready, my feet unhook and my foot goes to the hip. Pinch, knee inwards, other foot up high. And you'll see my chest swivel, right? I'm pushing off that hip to get some leverage and get myself at an angle. When I'm ready for the final, my hand shifts to his face, and I come out and over the top of his head and over his ear with the back of my leg. My hand hasn't moved. It's maybe gotten closer down towards his elbow, but my hand that was on the back of his arm stays on the back of his arm. Now, when I'm ready, my feet pinch, my knees pinch. I can work back to his wrist, and I hip up. So I drive my feet to the mat while I pull on the wrist towards my stomach. Okay? Good? Questions? Feel good? All right. Doesn't feel good. We'll work that. I'm just going to turn the clock on for 6 minutes. You guys work back and forth, okay? 1, 2, 3.